Imagine living in a house where the ocean breeze cools every corner of the house and the sunlight lights up every space in your home in the mornings, and your energy bills practically zero. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, in Nicaragua, it's possible. Okay, this is going to be a video divided in two parts. This is the first part, and I want to talk to you about what makes your home a bioclimatic house, which are the strategies, which are the tips, tricks, and etc. Okay, let's begin. First of all, I need to clarify something very important. Bioclimatic architecture is not building a wall with plastic bottles or recycling all wood and etc. Actually, it's more sophisticated than that. Bioclimatic architecture means to design a home using the natural resources around you: the wind, the rainwater, the sunlight, the breeze, the airflow, and etc. to create an energy efficient home and comfortable spaces that fit seamlessly in the environment. In other words, a sustainable design. Okay, now let's talk about key strategies to make your beach house a bioclimatic home. The first one is orientation. Orientation is very important. Think your lot as a blank canvas. This means that you can put the design of your house in whatever location you prefer. But watch out, you need to take into account the sun path orientation, the airflow. In Nicaragua, in Rivas, San Juan del Sur, but practically in the whole country, the prevailing wind comes from the northeast and east orientation. So how you position the house could create a very good experience regarding the coolness of the house, the natural illumination of the house, and also how this affects the interior spaces. Okay, regarding the shadows, the temperature inside the home, because the idea is to avoid the sunlight directly and at the same time save energy. But here is the trick. You need to go to the lot before the start the designing process and see how the sun path affects your lot and obviously the house in the future. So your architect and you should have the first meeting before designing in the lot. This is the best practice, and I do recommend to stay there in the sunset, noon, and the sunrise. Those are the 3 points that you need to make sure how the sunlight affects your future home. Natural ventilation, like I mentioned before, is related with the orientation. Like I said, the prevailing wind comes from the east orientation and northeast orientation. So this means that you are going to need to design a very good airflow using the cross ventilation, which is my favorite strategy. So you are going to design a panoramic door as an inlet in the east or northeast orientation, and an outlet with other sliding panoramic door in the opposite. So this is going to allows you to create a cross ventilation. And I'm going to highlight this because the problem or the issues with the beach houses in Nicaragua is that maybe you have an inlet door or an inlet opening to cool the house, but they don't have a outlet opening. So this creates that the cool air is coming inside the house, but it's not getting out. So as you know, the hot air is less dense than the cool air. So the hot air up to the ceiling, and there are no air renovations, which means that the air is coming inside the house, but it is not getting out. And that's the reason why you feel the heat in the interiors. So we need air renovation constantly. And when the hot air is in the ceiling, I mean in the very top of the interior of the house, we can use clerestories, which are upper windows. You can use the projectable windows, okay? And keep them opened. This way you are going to get rid of the hot air easier, okay? That's a very good alternative for that. Okay, the third point is the natural illumination. Okay, everybody knows that good lighting transforms a home, correct? So in this case, we need to design a home with a lot of natural illumination. All the spaces need to have a very good illumination. And that's the reason why I avoid compact floor plans. I mean, a square floor plan is not correct. We need to design open floor plans to play with the airflow and also, in this case, the illumination. That's the best way to illuminate a home. Plus, the clerestory that we were talking in the last point. Because this is not only to take advantage of the breeze, correct? If not that, this gives us a very good diffuse illumination. And why a diffuse illumination? Because we need to block the sunlight directly inside the home, okay? And for that, we need to design a very good overhangs, correct? And when we have a clerestory, what is coming inside the house as natural illumination is the diffuse lighting. Let's say this is a very soft light. Okay, a bonus tip, make sure that you are going to paint the inside walls with a light colored paint, like white or beige colors, because white and beige colors reflects the 90% of the light from outside to the inside, okay? In other words, to amplify the brightness. For the people who has been watching my videos and following my social media, know that I really love to use these strategies as a priority because they have experienced a very good performance for the houses that I have designed and are already built, like Tabla Rasa, Flamingo, and Casa Los Rienalores, etc. Okay, if you are enjoying this video, if this information is useful for you, you should subscribe to my channel because I'm going to be sharing with you more information like this, because maybe you are thinking on design and building your home in Nicaragua, and this is a information that nobody is going to tell you in YouTube, believe me. Okay, the next point that makes your home a bioclimatic house is solar panels. I want to clarify that a full solar panel system is not cheap. Obviously, it's more expensive than the traditional power grid, for example. And in Nicaragua, the power is not cheap as well. So why not take advantage of the solar incidence? In the long term, you will see substantial savings for sure. And Nicaragua is blessed with a lot of sunlight during the year. And what about during the winter season? Okay, for that reason, I do recommend to install a generator as a second backup, let's say. And this means that, for example, in Nicaragua, we can have practically a whole week raining or with cloudy days. So obviously the batteries are going to get down at some point. And at this moment is when the generator starts working. And the generator that I highly recommend is the LEP generator. When the batteries get down, the generator starts working, okay? So at the same time that it's providing energy to the house, is charging your batteries. So for some reason the generator stops working, the batteries are going to start working, providing power to the house. So we can say it's a closed circuit, it's a cycle that never ends. And this is very useful for places like San Juan del Sur, when practically you have the jungle, and you have everything so far away. So it's practically a win-win. And this method has been working perfectly, like I mentioned before. Hey, just a quick reminder, if you are enjoying this content, I would appreciate you like this video and share with other people that maybe needs to watch this information, and hit the bell to be aware of more content like this, because I'm constantly uploading new content. And follow me on my social media, my Instagram, Facebook. I'm sharing different content there. Okay, the next point is insulation. Here is a pro tip. Keep the heat out before it gets in. This time we are going to talk again about the overhangs. The overhangs are going to block the direct sunlight inside the house, correct? And we need to design a very good overhang. This means that we need to protect the exterior walls that commonly are masonry, okay? Cinder block, bricks, Covington panels. So this way we are going to be safe from the heat transmission inside the home. So in Nicaragua, the sun is tilting to the south orientation. So we are going to try to keep as cool as possible the walls in the south orientation, correct? And a additional material to avoid heat in the concrete walls is the foam. Again, this is not a cheap material or a cheap insulation, but you only going to use that in the south orientation, okay? And for the roof, I always design a fiberglass protection, okay? A fiberglass insulation between the metal roof and the ceiling. So this avoid, again, the transmission of heat from the metal roof inside the home. And plus, I leave a more or less a foot or a spaciousness. This way we can say it's like a second layer of protection against the heat. And obviously a very good overhang in the upper windows is very useful, and your family will appreciate that. Use fiberglass also in the drywall. I mean in the interior walls between the metal studs, and you will have a very good thermal insulation, and at the same time a acoustic insulation in the bedrooms, I mean in the private areas. I know that sometimes you have a lot that has a complicated position, location, and maybe you won't be able to use the cross ventilation for some reason because you are in a mountain. But I'm gonna tell you an experience. When I was designing Casa Flamingo in the Remanso beach, that was one of the issues the lot had. So we practically cut the entire mountain and placed the house, I mean the back of the house, facing or touching the soil of the mountain. Obviously we use asphaltic paint and plastic to avoid the water issues inside the home, correct? But the point here is that the coolness of the soil of the mountain keep the house cooler. And that's very interesting because that's the way that African people build their houses, using the soil temperature to cool the house. That's another option. And I'm saying this because you can use practically whatever lot you can pay and create a amazing architecture. I really enjoy to chat with you guys in the comments. So I would like to know what challenges have you been facing to make your home comfortable, okay? Please put your comment in the box below and I promise you a response. Okay, I know it's a lot of information, and for that reason I decided to separate this video into two parts. This is the first one, and we are going to be talking of more strategies in the second part. So hit the bell to be aware. And this means that you are not going to apply all the strategies at the same time for your new beach home, because what you need to do is to go to the site, carry out a very good site analysis with your architect, and talk about which strategies are the best for you. If you are going to use overhangs, cross ventilation, soil coolness ventilation, solar panels, if that's worth it, you know, or you can use even a hybrid solar panel system. The 50% of the house will be working with traditional power, and the other 50% is going to be working with solar panels. Okay, that's a very good alternative as well. So you don't need to use every trick in the book. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that you have understood that. Okay, if you are ready to design your new beach home, follow me for more information. Send me a direct message through my social media, for example. And I do recommend to watch my YouTube series for non-architects. So go to my channel and you will have a playlist with the non-architect series. Thank you very much for watching my videos. I really enjoy creating content for you. You are an amazing audience, and I will see you in the next week. Bye bye.